Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming. This is Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. We are continuing with question answer sessions. This question is about the meaning, preparation and process of initiation. What is the meaning, preparation and process of initiation, and why one must keep the whatever is spoken to the seeker, whether a mantra is given or a zikr is given, to keep it secret? You have to understand first of all what is initiation. Initiation is not a ritual. It is a deep communion, deep transfer of energy from the master to the disciple. Initiation is a bridge that bridges the energy of the master and the disciple. The initiation is the bridge. On one side is the master, and on the other side is the disciple. Disciple has to start moving in a particular way. The master is there. Slowly and slowly he crosses the bridge and reaches the master. How he crosses the bridge and why it is necessary to cross the bridge to reach to the other side, to reach the master, so that the energy flow begins between the two. Or you can say it is like osmosis. Osmosis is an chemical process in which two solutions, one of a higher concentration, the other is dilute, is separated by a semi-permeable membrane. One is concentrated, the other is less concentrated. Where the movement will begin from. You take a glass with some water in it and pour honey into it, and you will, or any concentrated solution like the drinks, concentrated into the water. Or you take the concentrated solution, honey, or that solution like we have squashes, or the concentrated drinks like in India we have ruafza, which is the summer drink of the East. Then we have the khas drink, lemon drink, orange drink. So these are concentrates. In Trinidad we have a substance, a drink called mopi. It is a bark of a tree, and from that a drink is made which is cooling. So either you add to the water or you add water to this. Immediately there begins a movement from one to the other. Whatever is possible, it begins. But that does not mean as soon as you mix the two, they will blend into one another. The process of transfer from the concentrate to the dilute to the concentrate has begun. But you have to take a stirrer and stir it to attain to the required consistency. So this is the preparation of making a juice or drink from a concentrate. So initiation is the process, just like the making a juice from the concentrate. When the two energies are moving towards one another and they are stirred, that process of, so in that there are a couple processes. First, the movement. They take the cup. In that cup, you take the concentrate or the water. It is difficult to take the water and to that add the concentrate if you are adding directly from the bottle. So you take for a cup of water a certain amount of concentrate is needed. When the cup is full with the glass or cup is full with the water, then it is difficult to know how much you have poured unless you use the spoon to transfer the concentrate into the water. I prefer to take the concentrate into the cup first, because even if you are using the spoon, a certain amount of concentrate remains stick to the spoon. So you put it in that and then you add the water and begin to stir. This is the process. Similar is the process of initiation. This is the process. Preparation. You make up your mind. You decide that you are going to have a drink. You are going to use a concentrate. And from the concentrate you are going to make a drink. So you take a cup. You take the concentrate, a certain amount of concentrate, pour in the cup, add the water, and you do not add the ice before mixing it, because when it is cold, then the process of mixing becomes difficult. When the water is at the room temperature, then mixing becomes easier. So from this analogy you can understand what is this room temperature means. You are not cold. Warmth is of love. So when there is a warmth of love towards the master, mixing becomes easier. This is part of the preparation. Initiation is, the meaning is that you have decided to cross over the bridge to reach to the other side. You are moving, gravitating towards a concentrated force of energy so that your low level of energy or tawajjuh or energy field becomes concentrated. Water has to mix with the sugars, the drink concentrate to make it tasty and a useful drink. So this one who decides there is a water, there is concentrate, and one who begins the process of mixing the two to make it a useful, tasty drink is the process of initiation. The water is the disciple, the concentrate is the master. And through the process of initiation, it is the effort of the two. If water decides that I am not going to be poured into the cup, there can be no process. If the concentrate decides that I am not going to mix with the water or lose my identity, or concentration, you cannot obtain the resultant. The two has to agree. First, the water has to agree. The person decides that I am going to make a drink. This is initiation. If we can give it a form, the person who decides to have a drink, or the consciousness in you, in the disciple and the master, decides to have a drink, a tasty drink, is initiation. This decision is made by the consciousness that I am ready now. Time has come that I need a tasty drink to savor the heat, the outside heat that is there in the environment, to satiate my thirst. So this is consciousness decides that. And when consciousness has decided that, then you take the choice of the drink, that concentrate from which you want to make a drink. You take the filter water or the tap water. You start the process of mixing the two. And then you stir it. It acquires the sugar concentrate, the syrup concentrate, loses its texture, gives its sweetness to the water. Water absorbs that, and a savory, a tasty, delicious drink is the ultimate result. And the two, one transfers its taste, its concentrated taste quality, to the water which was tasteless. Water is ready to absorb. This is the process, preparation of initiation. It is a deep transfer of energy from the master to the disciple, as in case of the syrup concentrate. And you remember, energy always flows downwards. So it is, if you pour it into, in order to understand the initiation, take the water and pour this concentrate syrup into it. You will see the concentrate losing its concentration, and it starts bubbling, bubbles forming in the water, and you will see a certain amount will mix up in that on its own. Then the remaining has to be mixed by stirring. Energy moves always from the concentrate to the less concentrate. When in the process of osmosis, two substances, two syrups, two solutions of different concentration are separated by a semi-permeable membrane through which the flow is possible, you will see the crystals move from the concentrated solution to the dilute. Energy flows downwards. Every energy flows downwards, just like the water flows downwards. Master is the one who has attained, one who has known, one who has become, is the peak of energy possible, the purest energy, the concentrated syrup, the Everest of energy. This energy can flow downwards to anyone who it can flow to, who is ready to cross the bridge And how can you cross the bridge? When you are receptive, you are humble, you are surrendered. This surrendered attitude, this receptive attitude, a deep humbleness is needed to receive, to absorb the master in it. If the water remains egoistic and not surrendered, it will not absorb the transfer of the concentrate molecules to itself. Otherwise, this surrendered attitude, this receptivity, this deep humbleness is the necessary requirement for receiving. Otherwise, you yourself are a peak, you are not a valley, then the energy cannot flow downwards to you. You are a sort of peak. And what is the peak? Peak of ego, not of energy, not of the being, not of the bliss, not of the consciousness. You are the density of ego, of I-ness. You are a peak. And with this peak of ego, not bliss, not being, not energy, no initiation is possible. Ego is the barrier. Ego closes you, and you cannot surrender because of this ego. To be a disciple, to be initiated, one has to surrender oneself totally, completely, without any condition, unconditionally. And there is no partial surrender. Surrender means total. You cannot say that I have partially surrendered to you, I accept these things of you. Then you are still under the guidance of your ego. Ego has to be surrendered. And when you surrender, ego opens the door of receptivity. You become like a valley. Then the peak can flow downwards to you. And I'm not talking about symbolically. It is actually, this is how it happens. Have you ever been in love? Then you can feel love actually flowing between two bodies. It is an actual flow. Energy is being transmitted, transferred, received, given, but love is at the same level. The two are at the same level. Both remain the peaks of ego, and yet still love can happen. With a master, you cannot be at the same level. If you are at the same level, initiation becomes impossible. Two solutions of the same concentrate, if you take the two different solutions of the same concentrate, they will create a mess. Water from the two different bottles put together will create a mess and will not give you a drink. With a master, you cannot be at the same level. And if you try to be at the same level, initiation becomes impossible. Love can be possible, but initiation is impossible. Initiation is possible only when you are at a lower level, you have a lower level of concentration, that you are a diluted solution, and the master is a concentrated solution. You need a whole glass of water, and you need 1 tablespoon of sugar concentrate, of the syrup concentrate. The initiation is possible only when you are on a lower level. And what is lower level means? Humble, surrendered, open to receive. When the disciple is feminine, just womb-like, passive, able, and when this passivity, this womb-like passivity is the way to receive. The master is the male factor in initiation, and disciple is the feminine womb. The secret of initiation is now completely lost, because the more we are educated, the more civilized, the more cultured, then more egoistic one becomes. And now to surrender has become very, very difficult, almost impossible. It has always been difficult earlier on, but now it is impossible. Initiation is the transfer of energy, actual energy. The master can enter you just as the syrup concentrate enters into the womb of the water and can transform you, can change the very texture of you, if you are ready and receptive. But then deep trust is needed. The water has a deep trust. It allows without any condition to allow this syrup concentrate to flow into it. More trust is needed. More trust than is needed in love, because you do not know what is going to happen. You are completely in dark, but there is a deep trust in you. Only the master knows what is going to happen and what he is doing. He knows you cannot know, and there are things that cannot be said about what is going to happen, because with the human mind there are many problems. One problem is this, that if something is said before it happens, it will change the very happening. It cannot be said. So there are many things the master cannot say to you or tell you. He can do them to you, but he cannot say them to you. This doing, not saying, is initiation. He actually moves into you, into your body, into your mind. He cleans you, changes you. The only thing required on your part is total trust, because without this there is no possibility, no opening, and he cannot enter in you because you have closed the doors. You are always defending yourself. Life is a struggle for survival. To survive, this struggle closes you. You are closed, afraid. You are afraid to be vulnerable. Someone may enter, someone may do something within you, so you shrink yourself, you remain closed, just hiding behind, constantly defending yourself. In initiation, you have to lose this defense. This armor has to be thrown away. You become vulnerable. Then the master can enter. This is the meaning, the process, and the preparation for initiation. We'll continue it in this coming session on Saturday. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.